Welcome. Welcome to... I didn't plan this. I kind of just am stuck in a brain space of competitive Pokemon, so join me in my competitive brain space. But also welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Also, stream captions you are on. Don't you sass me, stream captions. So yeah, we're just gonna be trying to plan out a competitive team. And I've already like gone a bunch of different directions and then reeled back on some of those decisions and made alterations and it going very much in circles. But also, howdy. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Welcome to the year 2023 and my first stream of it. Woo! Woo, yay! And we're gonna have at least 2 streams this weekend, including this one. 'Cause tomorrow we're playing Civ all day. But yeah, howdy Greg, howdy Eric, howdy Nicole. Thank you for being ever so heckin' prompt. And Eric, thank you for the tier 2 sub at 43 months. That is damned impressive, sir. And I sincerely appreciate the constant support. Let's see. So kind of where my head is going with this is that there's 3 Pokemon that I kind of really want in my party, and I've kind of started to plan a few things out, mostly just with Kilowattrel. Because I was looking at potentially Raichu, and I want Raichu. A part of me wants a Alolan Raichu more than regular Raichu, but Raichu has a lot of great moveset for competitive. But after seeing potential with Kilowattrel and using not a combination, but a strategy that I used before with doubles, where having a Tailwind Pokemon and pairing it with some other neat things. And Kilowattrel I did not realize that Kilowattrel is very strong. I need to probably do... Okay, let's just type in the stats of some Pokemon and do some... actually, let's do some conditional formatting so that I can do some stuff here. Color scale, 3 color scale. You got red, that, and then you got number. What do they? We do it at about 90, so you could just do 90, and just call it 150. I think minimum is probably like 20 for anything. So 70 plus 70, we'll make it 60, make it even on each side. Just so I can get a quick glimpse at what my stats are looking like. Also, howdy, Line. Thanks for stopping by. Also, yeah, I wish I could get Alolan Raichu, but unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, there's no way until Pokemon Home comes out that you can do it. And I have not yet attempted to do shinies in the new gen. Do. Yeah, this is the tricky part. So, am I gonna have to? Where's Format Painter? I've forgotten how to do Villat. There's Format Painter. So paint that onto there. There we go. So first I should just run over the one Pokemon that I basically guaranteed that I want to try and fit in. And that is Kilowattrel. Because Kilowattrel has pretty dang good special attack, exceptional speed, which is very, very handy. Has Tailwind, which is very nice for keeping, and this is going to be doubles, for keeping the team nice and speedy, doubling the speed for 5 turns. Probably going to run Focus Sash on it, but the just incredible thing with Kilowattrel is Wind Power, which is its ability, which boosts the power of the next electric type move used when hit by a wind move. And that's great. Because Tailwind is a wind move that hits my old team. And so that means that Kilowattrel sets itself up for something really good, which is frickin' Electro Ball. Because Electro Ball is electric, it's special attack damage, and it does damage based on the difference in your speed versus the enemy. So if I'm 4 times faster, which as much as this gen has a lot of very powerful Pokemon, it also has a lot of very slow Pokemon too. So if I'm going even just double speed, it's at 80, which is pretty good, but given Kilowattrel's great speed to begin with, gonna max out its speed EVs. And it's gonna be doubled by Tailwind. We're looking more into the 120 to 150 power Electro Ball terrain, which is amazing. And that Electro Ball is going to be boosted by a charge, which is excellent. And now I'm trying to figure out how to pair that with other things. So Mabo Stiff. I wanted my boss stiff. I don't know what ability I want on it anymore. Because Intimidate's great overall, though, because of howdy, Nikki. My boss is stiff. Is all I heard whenever I hit the book. Also, hi, Nikki. Thanks for stopping by. Boost attack if intimidating prevents being forced to switch out. I'm not going to bother with that. But the hidden ability is great. Deals double damage to Pokemon that are switching in. Because I'd seen what happened with whatever the dolphin that you plan around swapping it out, and swapping in and out is kind of just a very common thing in general in Pokemon competitive. So having a Pokemon that has very good attack, being able to double attack on a Pokemon if they're swapping in, that's very powerful. But also Intimidate is pretty great and potentially will pair better if I'm gonna run Cyclizar like I might. The downside is that there's what's it called? The Clear Amulet that just gives... That's a held item that just gives you Clear Body and makes you immune to having your stats lowered. Extremely good item. So it's highly possible that there's Intimidate might not be worth it, and Stakeout would be better. um, but I'm trying to think what my next thing. So, you know what? Let's just plan out Skeledirge, because that's should be a pretty easy one to plan around. Kind of have a lot of Skeledirge's stuff in mind already, and in what they're gonna be. They're gonna be a tank, but also being able to build themselves up very much. You would need your special ability. I don't know. Stronger charge beam? Why would I go charge beam? Also, he doesn't learn charge beam. So, but we would run Torch Song. But it doesn't do it for allies. Well, just call it Torch Song then. Potentially be Throat Spray, and probably Hex and Hyper Voice. Special attack for sure. Oh, I'm also gonna do the nature for Electro for Kilowattrel to be increased speed. Everything to increase Kilowattrel's speed. I'm not the thing with having Hex, as much as it's stab, I will need to have someone on the team that is pumping out statuses. I'm running doubles, so I'm gonna have to pair it with other Pokemon that are gonna have to have the possibility to cause status effects. So one possibility is, I believe Kilowattrel can learn Thunder Wave. Yeah, I can learn Thunder Wave, so that's a possibility. For Kilowattrel, can Cyclizar learn anything to do statuses? Also, I was not expecting Cyclizar to be decent. I was expecting them to be like 450 or so, but they're 501. They're not terrible. Not a terrible poke. Wish it wasn't so much of a mixed attacker, but not terrible. But the great thing of Cyclizar is the Shed Tail, as well as paired with Regenerator, its passive, or its ability. Because Shed Tail is a new move that just creates a substitute, then swaps places with a Pokemon in waiting, which is a free setup for substitute is amazing on that fast of a Pokemon too, which I don't believe it has negative priority. There's no priority. Unfortunately, Pokemon DB is not quite caught up on Gen 9 stuff, so finding all the info might be a little tough. But I probably wouldn't use Cyclizar for much attack. I'd mostly be using them for setup, with swapping in and out, giving allies substitute, have breaking swipe so that I can lower the attack of all the enemies. But the thing is, after that, what do I want Cyclizar to do? U-turn is an option. Because U-turn's just very good, and they're already focused on swapping stuff out anyway. It's either do I want a substitute or do I want a U-turn? It's probably low priority on U-turn just because I already have one thing to swap out. I don't think I need two. But the thing is that it just doesn't have any status effects that it can really do, is the really big downside. Like after it does Shed Tail and Breaking Swipe, what else is Cyclizar gonna do? Why would I ever U-turn over it? If I like was up against something that would have Focus Sash or like Mimikyu or Ice Cube or something like that. Something to just do a tick damage to break those, or Sturdy. Anything to just break those while also swapping into another good thing. This is kind of where my head was going with that. Because what I could Mud Slap, lower their accuracy. I could taunt them. Taunt is a possibility because they will most likely outspeed them, so forcing them to do attacks on either setup Pokemon or stallers and stuff like that. It's not going to break Sturdy for a lot of things. I mean, if it just has to do any damage, they just have to not be at full HP and Sturdy doesn't work. Hi, Will. Thanks for stopping by. But I'm seeing you right now, Will. I don't have to see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, but because another thing that I could potentially do, Sunny Day or Rain Dance, I could very much just have Cyclizar do setup for the team. So thank you, Lime, for gifting a sub to Will. I could do Giga Impact. Because it would be stab boosted. I mean, you can keep harassing me, Will. You can hang out and help me come up with potential team comps. Maybe after dinner. Have a good dinner. What you eating, Will? You still munching on risotto? I'm still munching on risotto. I have one more meal left of it, and I'm probably gonna just use it for I'm gonna use it for a quick meal during Civ tomorrow. Nicole, it was so much fucking risotto. It rehits pretty well. It's not as good as it was fresh, but it's still pretty dang good. Could potentially run Ice Spinner if I wanted terrain control. But with two people around to reheat it and stuff like that, it would be perfectly fine to eat it regularly. But for me, it basically turned into my weekend meal where I have 3 more meals of it throughout the week. I just don't really think I want Cyclizar to be focusing damage too much, but more so to just have damage potential. Because Crunch is not, it's not a guaranteed. Are there other stat change abilities? Could do knockoff. I could do knockoff. So I'm trying to think, are there any other stat changers even? Not really. It's breaking swipe. But I think that's the only like hard additional effect move that they have. A rapid spin to increase my speed, but nah. Shift gear. Attack by 1, stage speed by 2. But you don't really have that much that benefits from the massive speed increase. Acrobatics, no. What does Trailblaze do again? Does that a speed increase? Yeah, it's a speed increase. Yeah, this is where I'm struggling with Cyclozar. I could do Iron Head for flinch chance. Dragon Tail? Is that the forced switch? It is. The downside is that Dragon Tail is negative priority. But not Dragon Claw. Yeah, it's -6 priority. It goes last. Ugh, it's a good option. Honestly, that's a very good option. That is a great idea, Nikki. Just because in general, that's nice. What I'd want additionally then is... Oh, also nice, Nicole. Lower their attack. Substitute for an ally. Probably not the flinch chance. Could go for a big damage move. I have potential for setup. Stab Giga Impact is pretty great. Even if the Cyclozar's attack is not the most amazing. It feels like this would probably be, based on how I'm doing this, probably speed and HP, because they're not going to be focusing damage really. And put the spare EVs into attack. Do they have... Shoot, they don't have... Hi, Aurora. Thanks for stopping by. So they're 121. They will not be as fast even if I max out their speed. So probably do Natures, because I always forget. Natures are modest. Wait, no. Jolly. So plus speed, minus special attack. Thing is that with this possibility, I'm gonna need a setup for spikes, With that setup with having Dragon Tail as an option, I'm gonna need spikes. Some sort of spikes. I don't know who I want to have it, but some sort of spikes. Also, yeah, it's fair, Sora. You got to do what you got to do with the free time you have. Lest they be VODs or live streams or just doing your own you're doing your own hobbies and stuff. They are all valid options. Option here for Skeletor, Shadow Ball, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp. What was it? Slack Off. These are all decent options as well. New TV for Crimbo. Nice. Very nice. It feels very nice. Like, I don't use my main TV nearly as much as I should, but now that I'm getting into the swing of just playing games because I want to play games and not to have streams on the background and stuff like that, it's very nice having a good TV again. So I can just chill on my couch. Wish I had a better couch. It took me a long time to get a better couch. My last couch was so bad. My last couch like physically hurt my back. It was absolutely Riza's couch. If a futon, oh god. That definitely doesn't bode well for back. God, I remember futons from college. They were such the rage, and they sure were not really that comfortable for sitting or laying down. Oof, Sorora. Oof. It was your bed for a while. So let's... Oh wait, no. Let's... Gen 9. So I haven't looked like at all into any of these late Pokemon. This is not that far in the game yet. So I have not looked into much detail on their possibility. You're 590. I would unfortunately count you as pseudo legendary, so I'm not going to use you. I'm trying to think. Like, there's what's the one that like people obviously use for setup? You, Glamora. Because they just take damage from a physical move and they spread toxic spikes on the ground. But what else do they have? They They have spiky shield? Attacker receives an eighth of their max HP. Doesn't stack with Rocky Helm. What? Mortal Spin? What the fuck? I've never actually looked at this. Removes entry traps and trap moves effects and poisons opposing Pokemon. Huh. What? That's insanely good. What? just the regular move that 100% accurate poisons the enemy and removes traps on my side of the field? Really? And has Stealth Rock potential. Toxic Spikes when it gets hit. Someone whose Pokemon strategy is hit them till they die. Why is Glimmer's first better? I'm what is Glimmer's? Glimmora. Just because their ability is if they get hit by any physical type move, they light poison spikes on the opposing team, which means that if they swap out to another Pokemon, that Pokemon will be instantly poisoned. Pair that with apparently a move that just flat out applies poison to both opposing Pokemon and removes entry hazards on my side of the field. It's hard not to maybe pick Glimmora. Because that would pair insanely well with Skeledirge's Hex, which Hex is a ghost type move that does double damage if the Pokemon has a status effect. Has Stealth Rock, which is a great pair with Cyclizar having Dragon Tail. Has a stupid amount of special attack too. It's very good stats. Okay, well, fucking, I guess we're adding Glimmora. Jesus. Toxic Spikes to stack them? You can stack Toxic Spikes? Does it change it from original poison to toxic poison? Yeah, it changes to badly poisoned. Interesting. Glimmora. Five to 5, 83, 90, 130, 81, 86. This would be Toxic Debris. Honestly, a Toxic Debris is great. Corrosion is also tempting, though. It's free Toxic Spikes, but just by literally having this Pokemon out on the field, I can just Mortal Spin. So honestly, they're both good options. It would just make it so that I Well, I have to have Mortal Spin anyway, just because it's too good of a move. And because you want to have more setup. Something to go well. Fucking, of course you would run Venoshock. Why would you not run Venoshock? Does it make... Is it just that you can poison them, or... Is it just that you can poison them with corrosion, or do they also still get hit by poison moves? Yeah, I mean, there's also Sludge Wave, which does hit both, but also hits ally, which is the downside there. Venoshock is so powerful with having poisoned enemies. Question that's probably not really known yet. Can explosion trigger toxic debris? Can explosion trigger toxic debris? Does someone have a Glamora and want to test? Although I think explosion's an egg move. I mean, it's a physical move. It takes damage from physical moves. No, when I use it. Because when the Pokemon takes damage from physical moves, if Glamora explodes, does it put toxic debris on the enemy team? Of course, you found a Vaporeon outbreak. If someone has a Glamora with explosion, I would love to test that. You'd have to get its egg move, Greg, which I'm not sure if you have that capability. I don't know how egg moves transfer over in this gen. Could go to Showdown. I don't know how to do a Showdown. I'd rather have it tested in the actual game itself, though, just in case Showdown's doesn't have some of those edge cases correct, because I don't know how Showdown's done. Can I also learn spikes? Feels like this Pokemon's too good and too useful for entry hazards, so it feels like I have to have a one to deal with one. And we're just gonna be back and forth mortal spinning. Could also use it as a setup poke for reflector light screen. Would be very dangerous to get taunted though. So you don't have one in boxes. Oh, 07. Sludge bomb. It's power gem and ancient power. It's no additional effect. It's just a good stab rock move. The downside with explosion though is it does have very low attack, but I do kind of like running explosion strats. I do kind of like running explosion strats. It never just like, here, have this poison balloon. Pop. So I feel like that has to kind of be one. So this will be Gamora. Let's keep Cyclizar in there. My bow stiff can go in the background. So it looks like I got 4 Pokemon kind of figured out here, or have a base set up. It honestly has pretty good access to other moves too. Mortal Spin is ridiculous. I mean, it has self-destruct on his own, but I mean... Actually, yeah, you could just test it with self-destruct, Greg. You don't have to test it with explosion. It knows self-destruct. Whoops. But the extra 50 power is nice. But it makes it easier. You don't have to teach a neg move. Has Spiky Shield as an option? For a more powerful reflect that'll also hurt the enemy. Okay. Skeledirge. Would you want speed? Would you want speed at Skeledirge, or do you want HP? Probably speed. You're relatively tanky to begin with. Pretty beefy boy to begin with. Amplifying that tankiness would be nice. But speed is also crucial. If I take out an enemy before they can do anything, then I don't have to be tanky. And that would pair really well with that would pair super well with Kilowattrel's Tailwind. So yeah, I'd probably go with that. Believe this would be Modest. Is plus special minus attack? Yeah, Modest. Let's see. As much as I don't want to use it's such a stupid powerful move. I don't want to use a meta thing, which I believe Karnus did say Glamora is meta, but dang it, it feels like you kind of have to have something that's good with hazard clearing moves. Rapid spin and defog. Tidy up is probably exclusively mouse hold, which I didn't want to use mouse hold. The meta is the meta for a reason. This is also true, but I also still want to not do meta too much. Also, howdy, Zach. Thanks for stopping by. Then I'm assuming Mortal Spin is unique to Glamora. Sure is. So the only other options are Rapid Spin. Which Iron Treads could learn. Ooh, Cyclizar learns it. If I didn't want to run that. Don't think it worked. Colossal can learn it. What about defog? Cyclizar is an option for Rapid Spin. Maybe not Dragon Tail then? Because it's really counterintuitive to its speed. Doesn't work. Damn it. Thank you for taking a look. It's not damage, it sets its HP to 0. Yeah, probably. Defog. Braviary learns it, but I don't want to use Braviary. It's by TM. I don't think there's anything that I really want to use. Launch Crow did seem like maybe a possibility, but they're very fragile. Can be very strong, but they're very fragile. Maybe I don't want. That's such a stupidly strong move. Party Poison and Mortal Spin is ridiculous. Specifically shiny hunted Hisuian Zoro to bring to this game. It's not even on Pokemon Home yet. I also wanted a Alolan Raichu, also not in the game. Who next? Who? Because it feels like Glamora will do extremely well, but it does kind of lock you into running things that are good with poison or good counters to poison. If I want to have Glamora on my team, are there any other major moves for like Skeledirge that I'd want to have? Like Torch Song is just too good. Probably not best to have another fire type move. Hex or Shadow Ball is always the question. Earth Power is amazing. Hyper Voice is also amazing. Snarl is also great. I always love Snarl. That's... could potentially do that. Show me Arcanine. Arcanine's a good Pokemon. Very beefy. Very strong. Has Intimidate. Also learns Snarl, which Snarl is great. Has Extreme Speed for a very good priority move. Lowers their special attack for Snarl. Do I want you, though? So you can be physical or special. Slightly more anchored towards a physical, which would pair better with Extreme Speed. There's Flare Blitz option. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Dragon Tail. Now I'm thinking about it more. I'd rather have Dragon Tail on a tanky Pokemon rather than Cyclizar, which is more speedy, not nearly as tanky. Honestly, a little fragile. What is this? These are rampages and spews vicious flames to inflict damage on the target, then becomes fixated on using this move. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, it also has negative priority. That's why it's better to have it on hyper tanky enemy or hyper tanky allies. Because they're more than likely going to be taking a hit before they fire it off. Is Morning Sun? That's just a heal. Yeah. I didn't know Raging Fury was a thing, but it does lock you in, so I'd probably rather have Flare Blitz if I wanted to run that, or wanted to run a Fire Physical. Oh yeah, like it's good to have something like that to prevent someone who's trying to stall or buff. That's why it's still on there, but it's kind of more of a backup option, not probably what I would want to use. Should probably have Cerebi up as well. I wanted to... No. Dang it, Cerebi, I just want to do Gen 9, please. Yeah, it's very nice. Won't be using them because they're pseudo legendary. It's a good tanky mon that could do it. Tyranitar could do it. No, Tyranitar's pseudo legendary. Garchomp's not pseudo legendary. They're pretty beefy. Would be fun to have Garchomp because I do love Garchomp, unless they are pseudo legendary. They are pseudo legendary. Nope. Sorry, Garchomp. Haxorus is another great one, but they're again a speedy boy. Iron Thorns. I don't know what any of your moveset is. You're a pretty beefy boy. 570, which is about max I would allow for my comp. Dudunsparce though. How are you looking at stats? 520, not bad. It's not bad. Very good HP. Do I want to use Dudunsparce? Maybe. Hypergel is also good. I don't know the difference. 1 in 100 chance of getting the 3 segment, apparently. Yeah, looks like it's heavier. It's heavier and it's taller. Interesting. Hypergel is a really good move too. 100 attack is pretty good, not astounding, but pretty good. Is beefy, can Dragon Tail. It's 520. Yeah, it looks like its stats don't change. Has Serene Grace, so it has added effects extra. Bug goes to dark type moves. Scare it and boost its speed. Runaway is useless, so it'll probably be Serene Grace. Rare. What do you learn? What? Excuse me? Dudunsparce, why can you learn Tailwind? Your wings are that powerful? Your teeny tiny wings are powerful enough for Tailwind? That's amazing. You can learn a lot, Jesus. Heavy Slam if you wanted to be the 3 segment. It's Pounce, which is lowers the opponent's speed. Drill Run and Earthquake. What's Drill Run? His increased crit ratio. His Dragon Tail. I did like Boom Burst a lot. I did like having toxicity for damage at one point, but can Roost, can Yawn. Good night, Sorora. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you again. Glare for paralysis. Do I want to run Dudunsparce? I'm kind of really considering running Dudunsparce. Do you learn any? I don't think you learn any. You do learn Stealth Rock even. I kind of wanna. I kind of really wanna. What does Coil do again? Attack, defense, and accuracy. I kind of wanna. Because it feels like, honestly, Glamora is meta, which makes me not want to use it. As much as it is very good and can pair really well with a lot of things. But they'll never see the Dudunsparce coming. They'll never see it coming. Uh, 80, 85, 75. What am I doing? Oh, forgot. 125, 100, 80, 85, 75, 55. Because the downside is it doesn't really have a good ability that would pair with anything that I'm trying to do. Like Rattled would potentially be a preferable option just for a potential speed increase. We got Dragon Tail. We got Stealth Rock. We have Tailwind. We have Yawn. We have Glare. I have its signature move in Hyper Drill. Which I don't believe any other Pokemon learns, probably. Yeah, it's just Dunsparce and Dunsparce. Probably would lock in these two. Probably your EVs would probably be HP and then EV half. Split between defense and special defense. And you would be probably rocking, probably make you stronger to special. special defense, I suppose. Make you quirky? No. Careful. Either careful or plus defense minus special attack, which is impish. He also has Roost, which is absurd. Probably a leftovers Pokemon. Riza is good pup. Coil is also good. It's just like what are the additional effects on anything that we're doing here? It's kind of nothing. Nothing that I'd really want. Sparse. Do, 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 do. Trying to think if there's anything else that would be potential for Dodon Sparse. Is potential for helping hand? No. So probably the most devious setup would probably be Dragon Tail, Stealth Rock, Yawn, and Hyper Drill. Stealth Rock and Yawn on one Pokemon is also very mean. Just like, you gotta do something, otherwise you're gonna fall asleep. And if you swap out, you're gonna get hit by the Stealth Rocks. It's very mean. Uproar? What's Uproar? What's up, dog? Oh, to keep everyone awake. Or other abilities and stuff like that. I am enjoying the new gen. I still haven't beat it yet. I'm enjoying it quite a bit from a gameplay perspective. From a technical perspective, it is fucking terrible. Like, holy shit. I have not played a game in like at least 10 years that so just struggles to exist. It's baffling. It can't keep a constant 30 FPS to save its life, to generate graphics that are not that impressive, to show it very obviously tiled textures, and display low resolution models that are 3 feet in front of your character. It is baffling how terribly it runs. Stretch! Heck. And hydrate, you got it. So howdy, Grim. Thanks for stopping by. Textures on the hills move. I have not noticed that one yet. I've tended to like pan the camera downward just to keep the focus closer so that I can even tell what Pokemon are appearing in the grass. I'm not typically one to run Roost, but it might be very well the best option for Dudunsparce. So probably not Serene Grace. There's really nothing in Dudunsparce's kit that I want to... There's like not really anything in Dudunsparce's kit that I want to have better odds of landing. Dudunsparce's evolution is almost a shitpost, basically, but honestly, it is. The Drampa felt like it could have been Dunsparce's evolution back in Gen 7. And it feels like a shitpost for Dunsparce, but also it feels like exactly what Dunsparce deserves. He's a silly Pokemon, and he gets a sillier evolution that is weirdly pretty powerful. Not Tailwind. Pounce. Has Dragon Tail. Yawn's probably... hold on. Let's... Oh, show me battle or held items. And I don't know what's all changed for held items in this game. They added quite a few. There's booster energy for the Scarlet specific. Or not Scarlet specific, Violet specific allies. There's Clear Amulet, which is ridiculous. Just immunity to stat lowering. Covert Cloak makes it immune to additional effects, which is pretty neat. Oh, it also works for Scarlet Mons? I thought Scarlet Mons had a different item. I was wrong. What else is new? Loaded Dice is basically I forget Cloyster's ability's name. That makes it so that you hit more hits on your multi-target attacks. There's Mirror Herb, which is really cool. I kind of like that a lot. Loaded Dice on Mousehold. Loaded Dice, Zoom Lens, or King's Rock is very silly on Mousehold. King's Rock is mean. You just have to be faster, and every single one of those hits has a 10% chance to flinch. Skill Link. Thank you, Zachatron. But Mirror Herb is really neat. Mirroring an opponent's stat increase is a really neat item. And honestly feels like a perfect counter for the whatever the Tatsugiri and Doronzo. Because when Tatsugiri hops onto Doronzo, it gets massive stat increases, and well, you could just Mirror Herb it. Punching Glove that increases punching moves and prevents direct contact with targets. Interesting. That's actually pretty neat. I hadn't seen that one yet. Throat Spray, which is just good. I think that's kind of the last big one that's changed. But yeah, Dudunsparce. Feels like with Dudunsparce, I want to run Yawn and Hyperdrill with Dragon Tail and Stealth Rock. Because his attack's not nothing to scoff at, and Hyperdrill hits through Protect, which is super good, and it's stab boosted, and it's 100 power. It's a very strong move. Yawn will hit through, or will make people try to swap, but maybe I should just go with Glare to have better control over status effects. Because Yawn is going to be the frustration for them to have to plan around having to swap out and stuff like that, but Glare is a guaranteed paralysis. Yeah, it really feels like, because I'm going to be using special attacks, I can't use like something like an Assault Vest to keep them alive even further. Feels like Leftovers is probably the safest bet there, to make them big and bulky and just have them pester with one good move. Yawn is great for the ending as well, though, making it so that any Pokemon left is still having the possibility to, or can't, a Pokemon that can't swap out. But yeah, Glare just being flat out paralysis is super good too. Roost is just to make them stay alive for a while. Facade work if you're asleep and have sleep talk. Probably. But it specifically says burned, poisoned, or paralyzed. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if that's specific to this. We can look up Facade. Yeah, it says specifically poison burn or paralyzed, so no. What's the last move I should do? Also, has there been... It feels like there's more powerful special attackers than defensive ones, but I could be wrong. I just don't know what nature I should go with. As well as if anyone has a strong tendency towards either Yawn or Glare for the final move, I feel like I want to lock in Dud Unsparse. And figure out the last little bits. As well as what's a Terra type that would be good for Dud Unsparse? Maybe just Dragon? Dragon or Ghost? Steel, maybe? They wouldn't have any advantage over it. It would just give them the nice defensive capabilities that Steel has. Yeah, Steel is good in general. Probably just Steel. The likelihood that Fairy type is also actually pretty good. But the likelihood that I would have to use Dud Unsparse's Terra type is very low. There'll be a lot of grinding. This is a team comp that's not going to come together for months. Probably. Or at least a few weeks. It's just going to take a long time to put all this together. I haven't beaten the game yet, so... And there's an event that we're planning at the end of the month that I need to get the shiny charm for. So I need to do a lot. Yeah, that's why Showdown is nice. You don't actually have to do all the grinding. But I like doing it in the actual game. Nicole, you haven't beaten it either. I'm just gonna go with the defense increase. I'm gonna go with Impish. Just to pile on the defensive or the regular defense, because it's just a smidge higher and the percentage increase goes further. Yeah. But also you have a larger obsession with these games than I think we do. You do that with like every single game when it comes out. You plow straight through it and get the completed decks. Okay, should I just okay, because I want a status move, it's not going to be Roost, but Roost is a decent option. Yawn or Glare? What are we going to run on Dud Unsparse? Yawn makes it so that they're going to have to fall asleep. But Glare is a guaranteed paralysis, and it's going to pair better with Skeledirge's Hex if I do want to run Hex. I want one of these two. I just don't know which one. Glare because I already have the swap out with Dragon Tail, or Yawn because... Because Yawn will make them attempt to swap out more and guarantee sleeps in the late fight. Glare will just be a flat out paralysis, which is just very nice. There's very good pros for either. And Glare would also pair well into Kilowattrill's Electro Ball. By having their speed. Arg. I don't know if electric terrain's any prevalence in this gen. Like, it has potential based on the new Pokemon all getting advantage on, or the mechanical ones gaining extra power on electric terrain. But there's like no really good way to set up electric terrain because there's no G-Max moves anymore. I really don't know what I want for Glare or Yawn. I think I'm going to go with Shadow Ball's only 80. Hex is a lot stronger. Shadow Ball's more consistent. Yawn just won't guarantee. I don't know if I don't have any other status effectors in mind at the moment. I really don't know what I want. Probably normal. Man. I think I'm gonna do Glare. Yeah. As much as Yawn is very powerful as it really kind of forces the enemy's hand, feels like, yeah, the paralysis is gonna pair better with other Pokemon. Okay. No Dragon Tail for you. I feel like I should probably have Rapid Spin on Cyclizar for dealing with other terrain setters. Okay, so we got Dota and Sparse completely locked in. We got Yawn as an option over Glare. Also, yeah, they can just wake up. Paralysis has to be dealt with. Sleep is a little bit more of a... It's more powerful, but it's also more variable. The straight up half speed from paralysis is very nice, with the 33% chance to not be able to do anything is also really good. Okay, let's see. So if we've got that set up, if we want Cyclizar, can swap in to protect an ally. have the highest attack in the world. I feel like I kind of need to have, for whatever 2 remaining Pokemon I have, they have to have good damage. Otherwise I have too much setup. Let's see. So yeah, it doesn't really have much in the way of damage. Rapid Spin is just going to be great for dealing with entry hazards, but so is Taunt, kinda. Taunt will put down a lot of things. Being able to outspeed everything and then just preventing them from being able to set up at all. Like, the only thing it doesn't deal with is with Glamora auto-putting the spikes in. I feel like I do better with just dealing with it. It's probably not Rapid Spin. Kind of liking what Taunt's capable of. Breaking Swipe is excellent. Shed Tail is excellent. I don't think I have anything that's really going to pair at the moment with either Rain or with Sunny Day. Could do Giga Impact for damage possibility, but Knockoff is going to have more. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Knockoff. Let's do that. I think I'm going to be good with that. Speed, yes. They're going to make them Jolly because they don't have any special attacks. Let's see. I think I kind of need them to be attack as secondary EVs. HP will keep them alive to be able to do the Shed Tails and stuff like that. Maybe I should just do HP. Because they're not going to be doing much damage to begin with. Their attack stats, okay. And they have 2 relatively weaker moves. They're more for set up for other Pokemon. And just very useful. I think I'm good with that. I'm trying to make more decisions so that I'm not sitting here for 20 minutes trying to think of one ability for freaking Dunsparce. HP is going to keep it alive, so it doesn't have to be Focus Sash. I'm pretty comfortable with Kilowattrel having the Focus Sash. Held item for Cyclozar. What would be a good... He's not very attack-centric. I really don't know what I would put on Cyclozar. Like, I couldn't even do Silk Scarf for a normal type increase because I'm not even using their normal type moves. Or do I want... They're not... I don't think they're physically tanky enough for Dudunsparce to make Rocky Helm, but maybe I should? Actually... tempting to do King's Rock. Tempting to do King's Rock. With just having a small flinch chance on my little pestering would be actually pretty nice. I don't think Rocky Helmet... Like, Dudunsparce is tanky, but not supremely, and I am boosting the defense a bit more than special defense, but I don't think enough to make Rocky Helm worth it. King's Rock's feeling pretty good. Mirror Herb, no. Yeah, Serene Grace does. That's for Dudunsparce, though. I'm not using Dudunsparce for that. There's like no special things that I want to use with that I'm building with Dudunsparce. That Serene Grace really helps. Forget by how much Serene Grace increases. It doubles the chance? Oh, damn. That is cruel. 60% chance flinch then for lots of moves like Bite. Could eject button? Ooh, actually, yeah. Eject button would actually be pretty good for Cyclizar. Because with the Regenerator, it heals a bit when it gets moved away. And they would have done their stuff because they're faster. Yeah, I'm thinking eject button. King's Rock is secondary. Eject button sounds really good. And because they have HP, they should survive the hit and they can get the HP back when they get sent back. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then Terra type for Cyclizar. Again, it'll be a bad time if I Terrastalize Cyclizar. I don't know, maybe just normal. I don't think I'm gonna care. I'm probably on ones where it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna hit ignore. Or I'm just gonna put ignore after just to be like, yeah, it doesn't really matter because it's unlikely that I'm actually gonna use their Terraform at all. I just hydrated. I can hydrate again. More. Yeah, I think Cyclizar is probably done. I'll put them in dark green to signify they're actually fully planned out. there. We're over an hour and a half in and we got 2 Pokemon figured out. Let's go. I'm mostly done with Kilowattrel. It's just how I want Kilowattrel to pan out. Did you eat them all today, or did you just find out that they're already all gone and you were planning on them? Either way, is just now. Still always terrible to see them go. Can Kilowattrel learn? Is Volt Cannon even in this gen? I don't think Volt Cannon's even in this gen. Dumplings? Hell yeah. Okay, based on the rest of my team. Okay, what's the next one? So I have a good swap out with potential to be very rude, lower their attack, knock off their items, swap away, as well as taunt to stop them from doing any charging or setup or things. Have big setup from Dunsparce. I really can't like have much more in the way of setup. I already have a lot of setup here. So kind of need one that's... I'm really leaning to King Gambit. One, because they're pretty cool. Honestly, pretty good fan of them. And also their stats are amazing. And they would pair very well. I still haven't even got one yet because I would never have figured this evolution criteria out. I'm sure it tells you somewhere in the game, but I sure wouldn't have figured that out. They're very strong. They have Supreme Overlord, which is really cool, but based on me swapping and stuff like that, probably not the best. I think I'd rather run like Life Orb Defiant. Supreme Overlord's cool. You bring in your Pokemon. When does Supreme Overlord trigger is the thing. Just said, is it boosted for each party member that's been defeated? Does it... Oh, receives a 10% additive increase to their power moves for each ally Pokemon that is fainted in its party. Okay. So it's not as large of an effect. And the thing about Defiant is it makes me more... Yeah, sharply raises attacks when its stats are lowered. I think I'd rather have Defiant. That way I can probably save the clear amulet for another Pokemon. Or maybe for Skeledirge. It would be attack. Would I want speed? Would definitely be adamant. Absolutely want strongest attack possible. The thing that this is where I get a bit odd. Because I don't know if I want Volt Switch. You know what? I'm going to roll with King Gambit. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to roll with it. Gonna do Volt Switch as a possibility. The thing that I like, so the reason I went towards King Gambit is because of Assurance. Because Assurance is a dark type move that doubles in power if that, yeah, I'm using double, or I'm playing doubles. But Assurance is a 60 power move that doubles in power if the target's already been hit once. So it's very good for singling down a single target. And Kilowattrel has excellent speed. And will just be able to, with Air Cutter, which is a neat move. Where are you? Which hits all enemies, has an increased crit ratio, which doesn't particularly matter to me, but it hits both enemies. So not only am I doing damage to both enemies, I'm also setting up King Gambit for an Assurance hit. Which stab boosted 120 power dark type move, which not too many things resist dark type. It does so much damage. I ran it with Weavile. The only downside with King Gambit is he doesn't honestly have that great of moves. Sucker Punch is going to be great. Having a priority move against an attacker that's also stab boosted and good power is very much worth it. The downside is it's also steel type, but there's not really any steel type move that I want. I feel like I need to have some Pokemon that has a fighting type move. I could roll Brick Break. Strong move breaks any setup for Light Screen or protect, or not protect, or reflect. Kowtow Cleave never misses. So maybe that would honestly just be a better... But he's not fast. Doesn't really have a good steel type move at all. Let's retaliate. Teammate fainted on the turn. Or on the last turn. Iron Head's pretty good, but it's still, I wish it was more powerful than just 80. I've got Defiant, so I don't want to run Swords Dance. It feels excessive. I'm just trying to think what's a good Terra type and what's a good extra move. I mean, can always roll Protect as a just in case. which is, I think, a pretty solid move considering he's 4 times weak to fighting. It's a good thing to maybe suss that out. Sucker Punch feels like the only one that I'm really leaning towards at the moment. Just because the priority and the stab boost is very good. And his attack is obscenely high. Could always do a Terra Blast and whatever Terra type I choose. Which this would be one of the Pokemon that I absolutely do Terra type. Or I do absolutely use Terra on. So what do I feel would be a good use of a Terra type for you? Your defenses are massive to begin with. You're resistant to almost everything. The downside is that you're very weak to fighting. So I bet changing to something that's either resistant or immune to fighting would be great. But it feels like a lot of people are going to be... Maybe I turn them into fighting? Maybe I turn them into fighting? Because it feels like fighting is probably pretty good against a lot of the other expected Terra types. I'm expecting probably a decent amount of normal Terra typing and Ghost Terra typing. Won't do anything against Ghost, but is super effective against Steel as well. As well as fighting type itself is not. Is only weak to Flying, Psychic, and Fairy. Which are not the most common, I don't think. Or I can make them fly. Electric, Ice, Rock. Makes them immune to ground. Which was a previous weakness of theirs. They're not very resistant to anything anymore. They're only good against grass fighting and bug, which is not the greatest. But if I do roll fighting, super effective against all those types. I think I'm gonna go with fighting Terra type. Then they're only weak to, yeah, Flying, Psychic, and Fairy, which are not the most common, I believe. As well as their defenses should be able to put up with it, because they're very tanky. So if I do fighting type, do I want to roll? I want a fighting type move, for one. But do I just go with Brick Break? Do I go with Brick Break or go for the extra 5 damage for the Terrastalize? Or for... I always forget its name. For Terra Blast. Because it's only an extra 5 damage. But this very much keeps me in the capability of being able to take down their shields, the reflect and light screen, if they use them. I feel like I should just go Brick Break. Yeah, I'm gonna go Brick Break. Got the Sucker Punch. Final move. Stone Edge would be very powerful. The downside of your abilities is you just don't have that many. Could have you go normal and have Giga Impact instead. Or I could do normal Facade. If I have to deal with status effects. Burn, poison, or paralyzed. Yeah, there's quite a few special attacks. Not in their normal stuff, but otherwise. And yeah, it's da, da, da. So I could Brick Break. Or Stab Facade sounds actually pretty good. Though it wouldn't be very effective against Steel, which is probably going to be pretty prominent. I like Fighting type as an offensive capability. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that. Final two moves then. Because they're probably going to be a clincher for me, giving me a turn to protect might be massive. Just to be able to do something else with one of my team members while they try to take down King Gambit because they're so powerful. And they're extremely powerful. So it feels like they are going to be more of a focus, so it's probably better to have Protect. And that leaves our final ability. Could go Assurance to guarantee a kill. Which would make sense because I think even Dud Unsparce is going to be faster than you can get it. Like every single one of my allies is going to be faster, so Assurance would be going after. But would it be better for me to just have a different ability? Could go Kowtow Cleave, which is just guaranteed 85 and always hits. Foul play would be bad. Giga Impact for a crap ton of damage. Iron Head for stab. And it does have flinch chance against the very slow enemies and would pair better for... It would pair better for having my Tailwind speed increase. I think I'm gonna go Iron Head. Assurance is neat, but having to hit the enemy beforehand is the big problem. Though Dragon Tail is one hit. With Cyclozar I can hit multiple. With Kilowattrel I can hit multiple. I'm gonna put assurance on. But do I do Iron Head over Sucker Punch then? Do I do Iron Head over Sucker Punch then? So the priority move is great. Steel is not the greatest offensive type. Yeah, Steel is only super effective against Rock, Ice, and Fairy. Like, it's not a very powerful move. Or it's not a very offensive thing, even if it is stab boosted. And the probability of going first with Iron Head without Tailwind is very low. Because Kingambit is not very fast. I am going to be losing health every single time as well. Okay, I think this is probably going to be what I roll with. Not underline. I think that's what I'm going to roll with. Howdy, Nintendo. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the likelihood of me going first is low, even if I do stack EVs into speed for Kingambit. Just because, man, 50 is not very fast. Stab boost is nice. Assurance would pair well with Cyclizar and Kilowattrel. It's a possibility. It's a possibility to go with the Iron Head. Maybe Assurance won't work well in the long run, but it's fine. Okay. I think that's what we're going to roll with. I could sacrifice Protect for it. Sacrifice Protect for Iron Head. Which honestly might be an okay idea. Because if I'm going to have one sweeper in a team that I'm going to guarantee Terra type. Yeah, current team at the moment is Kilowattrel, Cyclizar, Skeledirge, Dudunsparce, and Kingambit. I'm just trying to figure out the final move pool for some of these. Do I want Protect or do I want Iron Head? I've never been good at properly using Protect. So it might be perfectly acceptable for me to not run Protect and just get Iron Head in there. For the stab boosted flinch chance, or with the stab boosted and potential flinch chance if I have Tailwind up. This is for Kingambit. And I would most likely Terra type Kingambit. So that they're no longer 4 times weak to fighting. Question for terror typing, if you terror type into a type they already are, does it stack the damage increase or no? Could do Eviolite Bisharp? This is true. I hadn't considered that. Comes 2 times instead of 1.5. Ah, okay. That's nice. Because maybe I don't do Brick Break then. Maybe I do Dark. Also, howdy, Jade. Maybe I do Dark. Run Iron Head. Like Brick Break, I kind of wanted just to have an option for it, but wanted to look at Bisharp. Yeah, it would be a pretty tanky Bisharp. Am I using anything specifically with King Gambit over Bisharp? Other than obviously the extra bit of attack. Man, their stat pool does go up quite a bit. They lose 20 speed. But it would make it better for Assurance if I was using Bisharp. Bisharp gets Assurance, gets Iron Head, gets Sucker Punch. The downside is that then I wouldn't have Life Orb on it to also stack, but it would keep them very healthy. Do like using new Pokemon, but that actually does seem better overall. As much as they would do more damage. It's not by much, and the defensive increase would be massive. And the additional speed means I could... change of plans. So yeah, the big thing there is that I wasn't... Spicy extra on it plus Defiant would give it 3 times attack boost in with something like Brutal Swing or something. What is Spicy Extract? That's not a held item, is it? Is that the spicy pepper Pokemon? Yeah, it's a spicy Supaishi boy. Yeah, Scavilion. Which I don't really want to use. He's a neat Pokemon. I just I want to run Bisharp, which is very powerful. Change it to Dark type to really push into the Assurance and Sucker Punch. What's the next one? Because I'm not going to use Kauto Cleave. Assurance, Iron Head, Sucker Punch. What should be my final move then? I could Protect. I could Brick Break. Night Splash for potential crits, but then that's leaning way too hard into the Dark type, and I'd rather have Diversity. Could Stone Edge. Could Stone Edge. Could Stone Edge, could Brick Break. I think maybe it's best to do Stone Edge, but I kind of really want a fighting type move. Also, I was gonna look into Annihilate maybe. Or maybe a tank of some kind. Annihilate seems very strong. Saw so many in ranked. Don't doubt it. It's very powerful. I don't know what my final move should be. Assurance Ironhead Sucker Punch was gonna work great for my team. It's just Protect or another type of move is the big one. Yeah, doubles I'm sure is a quite the time at the moment. I'm gonna go Brick Break because it feels like I'm gonna see normal typing a lot. I'll have Stone Edge as a possibility and Protect as a possibility later. Okay. If I'm gonna be running Assurance, I want to make sure I'm running my Air Cutter. And probably, if I'm ever gonna have to, probably gonna run Electric on Kilowattrel. What is Oricorio? I didn't know they had a special move. Revelation Dance? Oh, deals damage based on their type. Oh, just Revelation Dance, is it? Works with terrestrializing too? Oh, interesting. What? I never noticed its ability. Another Pokemon on the field uses any dance move. Dancer causes the ability bearer to use that move, same move immediately afterward. They will still use their original move selected at the usual time. That's very good. Yeesh. Yeah, fucking... Double quiver dance seems absurd. Double swords dance, double pedal dance. That's wild. Volcaron and Logant with quiver dance and or fiery / pedal dance. Yeah, that's rude. That's very rude. I'm not going to use it though. Okay, so yeah, that's Bisharp done. Got Cyclizar done. Got Dudunsparce done. Kilowattrel's final ability could Volt Switch. Could Hurricane. Thunderwave, Electric Terrain. What's my final poke? Skeldurge. If I want to have more control of status effects, I should be running Thunderwave on Kilowattrel. I was considering Pledge at one point. Garchomp, very good lad. Very good lad. Okay. I really don't know what I want Kilowattrel's final move to be. I was considering electrical terrain just for Iron Treads, basically. But I'm probably not gonna run Iron Treads. Although I probably should to have another physical attacker. I wanted my both stiff, but I'm thinking that's probably not going to happen anymore. You can't use Iron Treads in ranked? Why not? I mean, they seem good, but not like busted. No Paradox Mons. Huh. Does Legendary and Paradox are banned? Okay. Dudunsparce does not count as Paradox. I suppose, because the Paradox ones are the past and future ones, not new evolutions. And that's off the list. What would I get with Volt Switch for Kilowatt Roll over... Got tired of Iron Bundle? I don't even know which one Iron Bundle is. Oh, Delibird? What does Delibird do? That's so powerful. Oh, ranked battle series 2 allows Paradox Pokemon. What's so powerful about it? Jesus, it's speed and special attack. God damn. Also, Ice Water's good typing. Yes. It's a frustrating lad for sure. Hydrate. You got it. Okay. Kilowatt Roll. I have Hurricane possibility, Thunder Wave possibility, Volt Switch. I'm just gonna choose not to use the paradoxes. Strimch. Got it. Actually, while I'm up, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. It's the only other water ice type in this game? Huh. Have a good wind down, Greg. Thanks for hanging out. Thunder Wave would allow me to be a real pain in the butt. Fury Impulse drops their special attack. Thunder Wave would work better in conjunction with Skeledirge. With Hex. I think with Skeledirge, probably do... you know what? Let's just fucking... I think probably Volt Switch is going to be the better option in the long run. But Thunder Wave for more control and better conjunction with the other things I have going on. Let's do that. That's 4 Pokemon with full stuff figured out. Although Kilowatt Drill, yeah, they should probably be electric for their Terra type. Really go to town with Electro Ball. Cyclizar with the eject button is gonna be the call there. Unaware Skeledirge. Let's look at our Skelly Bro. Torch Song for sure. Harper voice for another singing song. Or for another vocal track. Which I believe is like their only one other than Round to also be a vocal one. And then Disarming voice, but we're not using that. Hex. Snarl is a great option. Kind of want to keep throat spray, clear amulet's a possibility. Just to keep them protected. But I think the throat spray torch song is great. Just throat spray hyper voice is also great. Probably best to have them be normal to pair with the hyper voice. Probably not Will-O-Wisp. I want them to be doing damage. Slack Off makes them survive. Snarl gives them capability for more full target damage as well as dealing with special attackers. My head's leaning towards Snarl. Slack Off is probably the better call, but I don't know what else I would pick. Torch Song for the build up, Hyper Voice for the kill. Torch Song, Hex for major damage against anyone that I've successfully paralyzed. Or maybe it should be Lumberry Skeledirge, so that they don't have to deal with status effects. I don't really have much in the way of things. Torch Song, Terra Blast, Fairy protects Lock Off leftovers. Yeah, that's fair. I was considering maybe Fairy Skeledirge as well. I mean, they're relatively beefy, but I think for me, I want them to be a snowball them out of control type of scenario with the Torch Song throat spray Hex to combine with my speed increase from Tailwind, or with my 2 paralysis options with Thunder Wave and with Glare. Yeah, it's just a different way of doing things. Snarl will be great against basically any special attacker. It hits both targets. They both lower their special attack. Would hit them with Torch Song or Hyper Voice first. Hyper Voice could be normal stab. Earth Power would also be good, but Earth Power is just very good in general. What would that get me an advantage over what's good against fire? Would work against fire, work against electric. Rock and poison. Would be a lot more coverage with earth power. This song's so quiet. I think probably earth power is the better way to go. I could make them tankier and go with an assault vest. Clear amulet would keep them safe from status debuffs, but with their ability to just get themselves out of control, I think I'd rather have them just being able to dish out everything. Throat spray could also be lumberry. I think that'll be dependent on what I see in competitive. If I see a lot of really annoying status effects. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. I know people usually run protect, but I almost never run protect because I'm terrible at planning around protect. I'll probably have to get better at that eventually. Okay, so that's 5 pokes. Now here's the problem. I have no idea what I want for my final poke. I have no idea what I want for my final poke. Show me Gen 9 decks. So, like, what am I missing? I have speed attacker with both setup and good damage and assist capabilities. I have tanky damage Bisharp. Got knockoff taunt, breaking swipe, Shedtail, Cyclizar, so they're good at support and debuff, as well as getting some of their annoyances out of the way if they're trying to do some nonsense to get themselves super pumped up. Dunsparce is another setup. I can't have another setup Pokemon. I think it's got to be something that's got to have good damaging capabilities. But what? But what? Where Mapstip's not there. There's Arboliva. Very high special attack. I did like Terrain Pulse Arboliva a lot. Arboliva is very good. I like them a lot. Carbominable, what are your stats? Very high attack. kind of beefy. Can't think of a name for her. I named my Arbeliva Omo. Because that's what I kind of thought that Smoliv's face looked like, so I named them Omo. Howdy, toucans. Thanks for stopping by. Yep, Omo. That's the name of my Arbeliva. How the spreadsheet's treating us? They're treating us good. We got it figured out. I may have probably rushed some of these final decisions, but we got 5 of our 6 Pokemon figured out. I did capitalize the second O. Arbeliva is an option. What is... Can't lower attack. Increase punching moves. Anchor point. Would be good. Lots of weaknesses. But honestly, like I was pretty impressed by the Water Gym's Crabominable. I was pretty impressed by it. Because what did they have? Wait, why don't they have it? Is that something that specifically Crabrawler learns? Does Crabrawler learn Crabhammer? It does. Like the water type terrestrialized Crabominable actually gave me some trouble. As it also completely changes its weaknesses. Relatively tanky lad, great attack. Has fighting type stab, has close combat. Crabhammer is amazing. Has Ice Hammer. It's Ice Hammer. Lowers my speed after I use it. But I mean, I'm already slow to begin with, so like, whoop-de-doo. Do I want to use Crabominable? MC after all the hammer attacks they have. That's amazing. Has access to Earthquake. Giga Impact, Gunk Shot. It's a very, very powerful Mon. Raises defensive type for 5 turns. Very specific Snow Escape. I thought it also made it hail, but I apparently am wrong. Just nope, just flat out increases defensive ice type Mons. Arbeliva I like a lot just because I love the... Hail's gone? Is it? What does Abomasnow's ability do then? It's just snow? That's interesting. I also saw that they got rid of Pursuit as an attack, which I was absolutely gonna put on Mabelstiff. Arbeliva is a great, honestly quite dang tanky. Crabominable is not nearly as tanky, but You just Googled snow? Oh my god. Snow exists? There's a move where Pokemon tells a joke bad enough to summon snow. What? I believe it is very powerful. Do love terrain pulse. Huh. Chilly reception. Huh. Who is it on? Switches out and summons a snowstorm. What Pokemon has that? Slowking? Huh. It's not the Pokemon that I would have expected to have it. And that's it. Wow. It's a neat move, but it's weird that it's not even on an ice type. Howdy, Juice. Thanks for stopping by. Arboliva. Maybe I should go Arboliva. They were in my initial plan. Howdy, Juice. We got a decent team coming out, I think. Got Kilowattrel, Bisharp, Cyclizar, Skeledirge, and Dudunsparce. Cyclizar, yeah. Cyclizar is an annoyance. It's got Shed Tail, which creates a substitute, then swaps out to a different Pokemon, so it gives a different Pokemon substitute. And it has Regenerator as a hidden ability, so when it swaps out, it heals. So it's literally a free substitute for a different party member. I have Breaking Swipe to lower enemies' physical attack, Knock Off to get rid of their items, and Taunt to stop any annoying setups. So yeah, Cyclizar is a weird kind of support. Yeah. I was considering U-turn on Cyclizar, but with Shed Tail there, it feels like probably the amount of scenarios in which I would want to do damage over just creating a new substitute. Probably few. Volt Switch is also an option with Kilowattrel. But we'll see. Actually, it might... Volt Switch might be a great idea, honestly, if I go Arboliva. Because then if they're trying to attack Kilowattrel and I swap into Arboliva and Arboliva takes the hit, that gets my grassy terrain on the ground right away. Tempting. Abominable still honestly feels like a pretty solid option. I think I'm not going to do it. Honestly, just for staying in favor of what's new Pokemon. Garganackle is also a good option. Very tanky boy. Very slow. Salt Cure is a stupidly powerful move. I got through all of the Titans at level 40 because of Salt Cure. Because I think 3 of the 5 Titans are either steel or water, and Salt Cure does double damage to them. The great thing about Arboliva is also that it has Pollen Puff, which is super good. Damage to opponent, or it heals my ally. I think it's probably gonna be Arboliva. For my final poke. You are 5, 10, 78, 69, 90, 105, 109, 39. Give Omo a chance. I will. Definitely want Seed Sower. Not sure on your item yet. You would 100% have Pollen Puff. Now I believe. What else? Want a good grass move to pair with grassy terrain. Could Leech Seed for defenses. Could Safeguard, could Helping Hand. Is Terrain Pulse single target? I'm pretty sure it's single target. Yeah, single target. Terrain Pulse requires me to have my terrain, Giga Drain, and Leech Seed would be very annoying to deal with. Guys, Earth Power as well. Could reflect in Light Screen. I could have them be more support with just support with the potential to go all out. Reflecting Light Screen. But do I need a support? Is the thing. Heck! Howdy, Viz. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the raid. We're just planning out a Pokemon competitive build, so we're in the thick of contemplation. Well, welcome. How was the Viz stream? Also, why suppository? I mean, this is a thing, a type of medication, but also why? Oh, it's the S word of the day. Ah, okay. Also, oh, hi, Barry. Oh. Barry, who was apparently gonna raid Viz and is now here. Amazing. Hi, Viz. Viz got tangentially rated. Also, the S word of the day is suppository, according to Viz. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We are doing a very chill stream of many thinking thoughts. We are planning out our Gen 6, or not our Gen 6, our Gen 9 competitive doubles team. And because I'm a dingus and I like to think things on my own, I tend not to do meta, tend not to do pseudo legendaries or legendaries, and just like instead do weirder stuff. So at the moment, we're running almost all new Pokemon. We're gonna be running Kilowattrel, which is bird. Not Paradox Pokemon. They're currently not allowed in competitive, but I think the next season, which I think is in a week or so, they are allowing it. But yeah, no Paradox for me at the moment. We're running Kilowattrel, who's kind of our speed support and very speedy Electro Ball damage. Because wind power increases the next electric type move I use after I get hit with wind, and Tailwind is a wind ability. February 1st is when Paradox Pokemon are allowed. Wind power is neat. Combines incredibly well with Tailwind and Electro Ball, so really love that. We got our Cyclizard, our weird lizard with a tire, because they sure did wanted a mounting Pokemon for for this gen, and sure made a Pokemon explicitly for riding. We're gonna be running them as an annoying support with Regenerator, their ability which they heal whenever they leave. If they get hit, they're gonna leave because of eject button. They have Shed Tail, which creates a substitute for the Pokemon that comes in after, which is incredibly powerful. Breaking Swipe to lower their attack, Knock Off to get rid of their held items, Taunt to not let them do their status moves. Very don't let the opponent do what they're planning type of thing. Also, Barry, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. For 50 dang months. That's one, I've been streaming for 50 months. Jesus. Also, you've been sub for all of them. How dare you? But also, I sincerely appreciate it. Have a good dinner, Barry. I hope you had a good... How was the rest of the rhythm heisting? Barry can't get enough of heisting. First, there was the time heisting with that game last year. Now he's rhythm heisting. What else will he do? Also, Nicole, thank you for those 5 subs earlier to Grim, Gwen, Toucans, Midnight Sky, and Yeti. I sincerely appreciate it. We did a France heist. Ooh. And then our next poke is Skeledirge. We're gonna be having them unaware, so they don't care about the enemy's status or stat changes. Throat Spray to make them just completely snowball out of control, because Torch Song also increases special attack. Throat Spray does it with a voice attack, which Torch Song and Hyper Voice both are. We got Hex to do lots of ghost damage paired with Paralysis, which we have on 2 Pokemon, and Earth Power for for diversity. And yes, you bet your ass I'm using Dud Unsparse in my competitive team. You bet your ass I'm using Dud Unsparse in the competitive team. Because honestly, he's got a lot of good stuff. And a lot of very interesting things. Not the greatest of abilities, but he's got some bulk to him. But has Stealth Rock, has Dragon Tail to knock their opponents into the Stealth Rocks on purpose. Hyper Drill, which is Dunsparce only. 100 damage normal type that hits through Protect, which is just amazing. And Glare for paralysis for the team. So yeah, it's very silly, but I like it. A lot of orange in that stat distribution. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about Dunsparce. I was gonna be going for King Gambit and then Ninten. Yeah, Unaware just ignores the enemy's stat changes. I think. Ignores any stat changes in the Pokemon? Okay. It's very odd wording. But then, yeah, I was going to be running Close Combat and Draco Meteor, safe to use in that case. Ah, okay. I need to read it for myself. So I'm not making a terrible mistake. Okay. Then it literally just said, when attacking, the Pokemon ignores the target Pokemon stat changes. Okay. Got it. Hydrate, you got it. And then I was going to go with King Gambit. But I was having a struggle of trying to figure out their moveset and what I wanted to do with them. And then Ninten suggested, because King Gambit's a new evolution, why not just throw Eviolite on Bisharp? And I was just like, ooh, that's pretty devious. They got some good defense and tankiness to start off with. But their attack is also really excellent. And because I have Tailwind, I have potential with Assurance to really do in a single Pokemon with a very high damage stab boosted Assurance. Sucker Punch for priority, Iron Head for stab, and Brick Break to deal with, I don't know, whatever I have left over. Probably a better move than Brick Break to use, but I think I'm going to start with that. And now we're trying to figure out our last Pokemon's moveset, which is going to be Arboliva, which I'm thinking I want them to have the potential to have something very powerful. At the moment, I'm thinking probably Pollen Puff, Petal Dance, and then some support, but lots of players use dual screen religiously. They do. I was one of them. But so shoot, that's right. I was gonna. I don't know how to get volt switching. I think it'll be fine. I don't think I need to be that dependent on grassy terrain. I was potentially thinking screens on Arboliva, because Arboliva can be extra bulky and I can plan around them being incredibly bulky. Also has the potential for Strength Sap, which is very rude. I'm just not sure what I want to do with Arbeliva. Also, hi, Katie. Thanks for stopping by. I am doing well. I'm having a fun time. Yeah, Strength Step is just very rude. So Arbeliva being normal, it's going to be a tasty treat for Brick Breakers or Fire type Raging Bull. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good start to the new year. I had a great end of the year. I'm hoping to carry that into the next year. Did anyone do anything super special during their holiday times for Christmas or the new year? Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with Arbeliva. Arbeliva, what do I want to do with you? I want you on my team. But what do I want to do with you? I think you're probably the good fit. Have a very tanky Pokemon that also can dish out a good damage. You're not my closer, but you're a good extra damage source and maybe some more. Sleep Talk? You know, rest? Do you need a secret fairy attack? I mean, I don't really have anything. That's actually a good point. I should probably consider where I'm at for damage sources. So I've got Dark, Fighting, and Steel. I've got Fire, Ground, Ghost, and Normal. Not really gonna count these too much. And I have Electric and a little bit of Flying. Might be worthwhile to have Dazzling Gleam. Weather Ball, Strength Sap, Terrain Pulse, and something else. That is very situational. Yeah, it'd probably be best for me to have a Dragon Killing attack. Dazzling Gleam would probably be a good call. Maybe even making them a fairy type. Terastallize if I need be. Yeah, I don't really have a good ice capability at the moment. I was considering Glimmora for a bit, but then I was just like, Glimmora's too meta, and also just this move is dumb. Mortal Spin's dumb. Poisons both enemy Pokemon and removes entry hazards on your side of the field. Ridiculously powerful move. And also has the ability of if it gets hit by a physical attack, it also spreads toxic spikes on the enemy field. This is a really annoying Pokemon. Grass and Fairy are weak to poison. Not many people run poison offensively. I think I'll be fine. And Arbeliva is tanky anyway. But why? Why would they make this Pokemon? I don't know. It also looks like where are you? Also, this is Glimmora. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's apparently an ore. Maybe it's just a ball of lead. I don't know. It's an eel, but it's an ore. Sorta. It's something. But yeah, I decided to not use like some of the extremely commonly used ones, which for competitive especially is like Palafin. Because look at these stats! You have to start them out and then swap them out, but when they swap back in, they come back as a hero. And look at these stats! Stats are ridiculous. Yeah, that's how it works. You have to swap out Palafin. Yeah, you have to have him out, you have to swap him out, and then when you swap him back in, he'll be in hero form. So we're gonna do get Dazzling Gleam. Is Dazzling Gleam multi-target? It is, yeah. So it's gonna be better than. It'll be better for me than using Terra Blast. Especially, I probably am not expecting. I'm not expecting to Terra Arbaliva very often. Never gonna Terra Dudunsparce. Never gonna Terra Cyclizar. Skeledirge and Bisharp are probably gonna be my main two Terra types. Kilowattrel is gonna be a maybe if I just want to steamroll using Electro Balls and Tailwind. Maybe, but these are gonna be like backup Terra usages. You swap him out, he gets pulled back in by like Roar or whatever. He's still transformed. Yeah. Let's see. So I could do Terra Pulse, but Terra Pulse is going to be very dependent on the grassy terrain being up, which the grassy terrain will be up the majority of the time. I feel like I definitely want something that's going to be doing grass damage because... Or not Terra Pulse, Terrain Pulse. Because it's 100 damage and it's grass. Gonna throw salt on that dolphin, see how much he likes swapping. I want to use Garganackle, but I'm not gonna. Garganackle's been a mainstay of my regular playthrough, but not. I don't feel like using it in competitive. It's a possibility still, but it's not going to fit into my current comp. Garganackle is the reason I was able to beat all the Titan Pokemon at level 40. Because the three hardest Titans all are either water or steel. So I just poured salt on them and then boosted my defenses. So let's see. I want a grass type move with Arbaliva. That's gonna do damage because it makes good use. It's probably like the only really big thing that's gonna make use of the terrain. All I did was normal Terra and use Explosion. Amazing. That's a type of nonsense that I pull off. Like our last Elite Four event, I sure did run a an ice cream cone. I've already forgotten their name. I sure did Vanillux. I sure did run Vanillux with it makes hail happen right away. I put up Aurora Veil and then I exploded. That was my strat with Vanillux. Just like, you put up your defenses for the rest of the team and then you go away. I don't need you anymore. Because I want them defensive, I'm potentially considering Giga Drain, because that's a lot of healing. Giga Drain, Grass Stab, and on grassy terrain, that is a lot of damage and also a lot of healing. It keeps Arbaliva nice and healthy to be able to dish out things. It's a very, very survival focused one, which is gonna help because I'm absolutely gonna be dumping HP EVs into Arbaliva. Nature, you're just gonna be special attack minus attack. You're gonna be modest. So you are absolutely not gonna be running anything like that. Let's see. We got one more move left. I have healing for my ally and damage for the enemy. I got healing for myself. I got Dazzling Gleam as just good damage overall and backup dragon killers. Yeah, Leech Seed would be if I absolutely wanted to make them a wall. In that case, I would probably change my nature to probably special defense focused rather than special attack focused. If I wanted to be a wall, or strength sap. Strength sap also works. Probably not Leech Seed. Yeah, if I wanted to go a healing like that, I'd do strength sap over Leech Seed. But is that what I want? Do I want to instead do... That's a reason. I bumped up the music volume a tad. Yeah, Defiant. Defiant, such as my Bisharp with Defiant. Such as Annihilate, which likely runs Defiant. But that's very specific. I don't think... Do I want to run with you? Healing... Can I strength sap my own Bisharp? That's a good question. Can you strength sap your own Bisharp? You sure can target an ally with strength sap. Honestly, that might be the call. That might be the call. Because that's ridiculous. Downside of it, like, Defiant doesn't prevent the status debuff, does it though? Like, it still goes through. It would be a one-stage increase, right? When hit by a stat-lowering move. Yeah, it would be, in the end, it would be +1 attack buff. Which it's an option. Double shock, slightly weaker electric burn up can be used constantly after Terra type without you losing the electric type. Oh, excellent. So Strength Sap is another very good option of keeping Arbaliva alive. As well as having some real shenanigans. With Defiant. Would it be better to just use Helping Hand? How much does Helping Hand increase? Is that just a 50% increase? Because if that's just a 50% increase, then Strength Sap is just better. Unless I wanted to use it with one of my other, with Skeledirge. Yeah, I think it's just a 50% increase. Stab Hyper Beam. That's also an option. It is very good special attack. But I feel like I don't need much else in the way of damaging varieties. But maybe I should? Maybe I should? Boom, 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 boom. David Wise, you're so powerful. No, it's not worthless. It's a lot of damage. Could also learn Hyper Voice for more full team damage. Oh yeah, it's 12:30 and it's 12:30. I also should probably wrap up soon as well because tomorrow I've got a full day stream planned. Tomorrow I got a full day stream planned of Civilization 5 with me, Will, Nicole, and Deer. And I should probably be decently rested for it. Civ is very fun. I enjoy it. Will and I did Civ last month, and that was a lot of fun. And Will sure did kick my ass after a while, but I played a little bit of like Civ 3 or like Civ 2 way back in the day at like my cousin's house. But then I didn't play Civ again until Civ 5. And then I played like Civ 5 for 2 campaigns. And then I uninstalled it from my computer because those campaigns lasted until like 4 a.m. because I couldn't stop myself from playing. So it's just like, I have to get rid of this game. It's enrapturing me too much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Hyper Voice just because of the stab. Just because the stab hits through subs. As much as I was maybe considering like Strength Sap or something like that, I think this is just a very good mix of heal for ally, heal for self, good damage, and Dragon Killer, which means I should probably... HP is definitely going to be the primary EV. My second EV should probably be special attack because all of these are attacks. So I need damage. Modest is the way to go. Spend my last little bits of EV on special defense. Okay. I think that's a good loadout. I'm just gonna put some possible abilities on the side here. Strength Sap is an option. It's kind of the main one. Yeah, stab boosted Hyper Voice is super powerful. I had a thought of doing Sylveon Pixelate, Hyper Voice, and Fairy type Terra. That Hyper Voice is gonna do a ton of damage. Terra type for Arboliva. This is kind of more of a backup Terra type. Probably do Fairy because it's only weak to Steel and Poison, so it's honestly pretty good. as a good one, and it would give me stab to dazzling gleam if I need it. Dodon Sparse, I'll give steel, but it doesn't really matter. Cyclozar is gonna have normal, but again, it doesn't matter. Maybe I should just give it dark. Why not? Yeah, resistant to fighting is huge for Arboliva. A Bisharp Dark to just Assurance will probably one-shot anything. Stab boosted, 120 damage, plus Dark, or ×2, plus it already got hit once. I like Assurance. Last but not least, this is literally the last decision we'll make, and then I'll probably, if I think Rena is doing some competitive Gen 9 right now, so maybe we'll pop on over to Rena. Battle item for Arboliva. Could go safe with either Clear Amulets or Lumberry. Skeledirge is kind of built to go over. Also, yeah, there's also Grassy Seed. It's free defensive stage increase. Which would make up for the fact that defense is a little bit weaker on Arboliva. Dodon Sparse is just going to stay alive. Eject button Cyclozar because it's great. Skeledirge could potentially swap out to being safer rather than going overboard on special increases. Focus Sash on Kill Watchroll because they're very squishy, and it's nice to have them survive 2 turns, one for Tailwind and one for something else. And Eviolite for sure. Okay. What other options for Arboliva would probably be good? Let's do Choice Scarf Arboliva. Let's go. This picture of the upcoming raid I found. Let's see. I could Assault Vest, actually. These are all attacks. I could Assault Vest. Grassy Seed would go into effect after and give me my defense boost, but the Assault Vest would make me very, very Big Root Leech Seed, but I'm not gonna use Leech Seed. Big Root for Giga Drain even. Big Root, Giga Drain, Leech Seed is very rude, especially on grassy terrain. My head's kind of leaning to Assault Vest to start, but what else? Dragonium Z. Yeah. That'll work perfectly on my non-dragon. I really wish they would change the list to match whatever current gen is. Not just the list of every single battle item that exists. It's like, please tell me the ones that are actually in this game. I don't need the memories. I don't need the gracious orb. Leftovers are dud on sparse. I could be mean and do life orb because I'm constantly healing myself and I'm very tanky. If I wanted to go on the offensive side of things. There's actually quite a few good options with this. A lot more than I was expecting. Mirror. Yeah, it makes Giga Drain more powerful and it heals. And plus, I'm always on grassy terrain, basically, so I'm always getting healed. It's very offensively built, but it's very powerful. There's a lot of good options. I'm thinking it's going to be Life Orb. Punching Glove is interesting. No direct contact on your physical moves, and it increases your punch power. It's actually really neat. Give your palm out punching gloves, dang it. I wonder if that stacks with... Oh, it's only 10%. But I'm curious if that stacks with Palmot's thing. Punching Glove, Iron Fist, Palmot with Ice, Thunder, and Mach Punch, you say? Yes. Have this little punk next-gen Pikachu punch everything. I think to start, I'm gonna go Life Orb. Just because of how all offensive this is. But I can change that as we get to it. I think that's gonna do it for my team. That would put Thunder Punch past 135 pounds. A very strong punch. It's a very strong punch. Now also throw on some electric terrain. Pair your Palmot with a Pinkerton. Because Pinkerton can have Electric Surge and automatically set up the electric terrain. Which, once it hits February, give your Paradox Pokemon electric terrain. I have a feeling where you'll probably see a decent amount of Pinkerton. Or just give them booster energy. Or give them like choice band. Because the electric surge gives them their first boost and then you stack it with the choice band. I also need to finish Gen 9. I haven't finished the game yet, and here I am planning out what my competitive team is. This is the one that's... I'm gonna put these at blue. Are the ones that I'm questioning. but I'm not going to change anything at the moment. Only boosts the most proficient stat, and it's not always attack, but you can make it attack with EVs and natures and stuff. But you do have the option of boosting non-attack. You can make them very speedy if you want. Iron Tread seemed like it would be pretty neat. Yeah. I think that'll be good. I think that'll be my team. And I'm just gonna shift things over. Because I like things nice and clean. Simple and clean. As Utada Hikaru would say. Okay. I think that's going to be it. There's my team. There's my competitive team. So now you too can build a team that will destroy mine because you know all my tricks. But we did it. We planned out a team and a stretch, and I will do that stretch as just mirror team. Yeah. Let's see who we can go say hi to. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for hanging out, and thank you Viz and Barry for the raids. Sincerely appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow in almost exactly 12 hours. Almost exactly 12 hours. I will be back and we will be doing some Civilization. Civilization 5 with Will, Nicole, the Nicole Goodnight, Will, the Shriveling Fire, and Deer, the Deer Bits. I gotta do my stretch. All right, Deer, the Bits. Let's go say hi to Rena, because Rena is also doing work on their Gen 9 competitive. Which I believe because Rena did a poll on her Twitter to have people decide one Pokemon on her team, and she would plan the team around it. And Dan suggested Cloth. So if you have Dan emotes for the raid, you can raid with the crab. Because Rena's planning a crab team. If only Kingler. You could probably count Clowitzer, Cloth. Not Crabominable. No, it is Crabominable. Yeah. Are there any other crab Pokemon? You could have an all crab team. Clowitzer is a shrimp. It has a big claw. I'll count it. I'll count it. Claw team. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean in 12 hours for some Civ 5 and very chill times on that. But yeah, thank you so much. Oh yeah, there's Crawdon. But yeah, thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful night and go yeet some love on over to Deer. Goodbye. Or not Deer, on to Rena. Goodbye. Goodbye.